In the bustling heart of Denver, amidst the relentless urban sprawl, lies a hidden sanctuary garden that cradles a story of divine encounter and unwavering faith. Here, young Lucas Martinez, an adopted boy with a belief in miracles as deep as his love for the garden, experiences a moment that will forever alter his life and inspire a community in search of hope. Between the frenetic energy of the city and the quiet rhythm of suburban life, this garden stands as a refuge of tranquility and reflection. Its vibrant array of flowers and the gentle hum of bees create an atmosphere ripe for contemplation. For 8-year-old Lucas Martinez, a curious and spirited child adopted by the devout Maria and Joseph Martinez, this garden has always been a haven, place of solace where spirituality feels as tangible as the soil beneath his feet. In a family where Catholic faith and the belief in the miraculous are woven into the fabric of everyday life, Lucas was nurtured on stories of divine love and intervention. Maria and Joseph, who had faced their own trials with infertility before adopting Lucas, instilled in him a profound sense of wonder and the conviction that miracles often manifest when least expected. On a crisp autumn morning, as the leaves danced with the gentle breeze, Lucas made his way into this familiar garden. Unbeknownst to him, this visit would lead to a profound encounter, one that would deepen his faith and resonate in the hearts of those around him. Before we continue, tell us in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is right now where you are. It's always inspiring to see how stories of faith, community, and devotion to the Virgin Mary touch hearts across the world at every hour. If stories that test conviction and awaken faith resonate with you, subscribe so you don't miss what unfolds next. The garden, a vibrant and serene enclave, stood as a silent witness to Lucas's frequent visits, a sacred space where he could escape the world and find harmony with nature and his spirituality. This morning, however, felt different. As Lucas meandered through rows of blooming roses and towering sunflowers, he sensed an inexplicable pull towards a secluded corner of the garden, a call that seemed to beckon him ever closer. Approaching with a heart full of anticipation, Lucas was captivated by the statue of the Virgin Mary. To him, she was more than mere stone. She radiated warmth and love, her eyes shimmering with a divine light that spoke directly to his soul. In that sacred moment, Lucas knew he was in the presence of something holy. Falling to his knees, Lucas clasped his hands in prayer, his young heart swelling with an overwhelming sense of peace and gratitude. The Virgin Mary, with her serene smile, communicated a silent promise, a reassurance that Lucas was never alone, and that divine love was ever present. With his heart still aglow from this miraculous encounter, Lucas returned home, eager to share his experience with his parents. Maria and Joseph listened with reverent awe, their belief in their son's story unwavering. They had always encouraged him to trust in his spiritual experiences. As news of Lucas's encounter began to spread throughout the community, reactions ranged from skepticism to wonder, setting the stage for a transformative journey of faith and connection that would ripple through their lives and beyond. As Lucas stepped into the garden, an air of tranquility enveloped him. The soft rustle of leaves whispered secrets of the divine, and the gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming roses, evoking memories of his miraculous encounter. His eyes were drawn to the secluded corner where the statue of the Virgin Mary stood, majestic and serene. Bathed in the golden hues of the setting sun, the statue appeared alive, its presence pulsating with warmth and love that transcended the ordinary. Lucas approached the statue with reverence. To him, this was not just a carved figure of stone. It was a sacred conduit to the divine. The Virgin Mary's gaze seemed to meet his own, her eyes filled with an infinite compassion that reached into the depths of his soul. As he knelt before her, the world around him faded, leaving only the sacred connection that bound him to this holy presence. In that moment, prayer flowed from Lucas's heart like a river, pure and unencumbered. He whispered words of gratitude and awe, feeling the gentle embrace of divine love wrap around him. It was as if the Virgin Mary herself whispered back, her voice a soft caress on the wind, reassuring him that he was cherished and never alone. Lucas's heart swelled with an overwhelming sense of peace, a peace that surpassed all understanding. He marveled at how this encounter affirmed the teachings of his parents, who had always encouraged him to seek the divine in everyday life. Their faith had been a foundation, and now this experience strengthened that foundation, deepening his belief in the miraculous. As he knelt there, Lucas reflected on the lessons he had learned from his parents. Maria and Joseph often spoke of the saints and their unwavering faith, urging Lucas to see the presence of God in all creation. "Faith is like a garden, Lucas," his mother would say. "You must tend to it with care and devotion, for it is where you will find the light of Christ." In the silence of the garden, Lucas understood the truth of his mother's words. His faith, nurtured by love and prayer, had blossomed into something beautiful and profound. The encounter with the Virgin Mary was a testament to the divine's presence in his life, a reminder that faith could move mountains and transform hearts. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft twilight glow over the garden, Lucas remained in prayer, his heart open to the mysteries of the divine. He felt a stirring within him, a call to share this experience with others, to be a beacon of hope and faith in his community. The Virgin Mary's silent promise echoed in his mind, urging him to live a life of compassion and love, to bear witness to the miracles that surrounded him. Rising from his knees, Lucas felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that this encounter was not just for him, but for all who would listen. It was a message of divine love and reassurance, a call to embrace the spiritual journey with open hearts and minds. As he made his way back home, Lucas carried with him the light of that sacred moment, a light that would guide him through the challenges and triumphs to come. He felt a deep connection to the community, understanding that their shared faith could bring about transformation and healing. Upon reaching home, Lucas found his parents waiting with open arms, their eyes filled with love and anticipation. He shared his experience with them, recounting every detail of the encounter, the peace that had enveloped him, and the divine promise that filled his heart. Maria and Joseph listened with reverent awe, their faith in their son's story unwavering. They embraced him, their hearts swelling with gratitude for the gift of this miraculous encounter. Maria's eyes glistened with tears of joy as she whispered, "The Lord has chosen you, Lucas. You are blessed, and we are blessed through you." Joseph nodded, his voice filled with quiet strength. "Your faith will light the way for others, my son. Never doubt the power of God's love." That evening, as the family gathered for prayer, Lucas felt the weight of his experience settle into his soul. Each word spoken in prayer was a testament to the divine connection that bound them together, a tapestry of faith woven through their lives. The room seemed to glow with a sacred light, a reflection of the Virgin Mary's promise that Lucas would carry with him always. The news of Lucas's encounter spread throughout the community, stirring a mixture of skepticism and wonder. Some questioned the possibility of such a miracle, while others found their faith renewed by the young boy's story. Lucas, undeterred by doubt, continued to share his experience, knowing that the seeds of faith he planted would one day bloom in the hearts of those who listened. As the days turned into weeks, Lucas's life took on a new rhythm, one guided by the divine encounter that had changed him forever. He found solace in prayer and joy in sharing his faith with others, his heart always open to the miracles that unfolded around him. In quiet moments, Lucas would return to the garden, drawn by the presence of the Virgin Mary. Each visit was a renewal of his spirit, a reminder of the divine love that watched over him. The garden became his sanctuary, a place where he could commune with the sacred and find peace amidst the chaos of the world. As Lucas continued on his journey of faith, he realized that the true miracle was not just the encounter itself, but the transformation it inspired within him. It was a call to live a life of love and service, to be a vessel of God's grace in the world. And as he embraced this calling, he knew that he was never alone, for the divine was with him always, guiding his steps with a gentle hand, and a spirit strengthened by the divine encounter that had set him on this path. With each step, he carried the light of the Virgin Mary's promise, a beacon of hope and love for all who crossed his path. Lucas returned home with a heart brimming with newfound purpose and an eagerness to share his miraculous encounter. The sun had begun its descent, casting golden hues across the landscape, as he approached the modest house where his parents, Maria and Joseph, awaited him. The familiar creak of the gate announced his arrival, and he was greeted by the comforting aroma of Maria's cooking wafting through the open windows. As Lucas stepped into the warmth of their home, Maria noticed a change in her son. His eyes seemed to carry a light that hadn't been there before, a reflection of something wondrous. "Lucas," she called out, her voice a melody of concern and curiosity. "You look different. What happened out there?" Joseph, setting aside his evening newspaper, joined them in the kitchen. His calm presence always brought a sense of stability, and Lucas felt a surge of gratitude for his parents' unwavering faith. Taking a deep breath, he began to recount his experience. "While I was up in the hills," Lucas started, his voice steady yet filled with awe, "I had an encounter with the Virgin Mary." Maria gasped softly, her hands instinctively clasping together in prayerful gratitude. Joseph leaned in, his eyes wide with intrigue. Lucas described the vision, the radiant figure of Mary, the profound peace that enveloped him, and the message of love and service she imparted. As he spoke, the room seemed to fill with a palpable presence, a sense of the sacred that transcended the ordinary. Maria and Joseph listened intently, their hearts open to the miracle that Lucas shared. They had always encouraged him to trust in his spiritual experiences, to see the world through eyes of faith. When Lucas finished, silence settled over them, a holy silence that allowed the gravity of the moment to sink in. "My son," Joseph finally spoke, his voice thick with emotion, "this is a blessing beyond words. The Virgin has chosen you to carry her message. What an honor." Maria nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "We are so grateful, Lucas. Our family is blessed by your encounter. We must hold this close to our hearts." Word of Lucas's miraculous experience spread quickly throughout the tight-knit community. The news was met with a mix of skepticism and wonder. Some dismissed it as the overactive imagination of a young man, while others felt a stirring of hope, longing for something greater to believe in. Father Andrew, the parish priest known for his wisdom and gentle spirit, soon heard of the encounter. He decided to visit the Martinez family to hear Lucas's story firsthand. As he entered their home, he was greeted warmly, the weight of his priestly responsibilities momentarily lifted by the joyous atmosphere. "Father Andrew," Lucas began, recounting his story once more. The priest listened attentively, his discerning eyes never leaving Lucas's face. He could sense the sincerity in the young man's words, the authenticity of his experience. When Lucas finished, Father Andrew smiled, a serene expression that spoke of understanding. "Lucas, your encounter is indeed a gift from the divine," he said. "The Virgin Mary has chosen you to be a vessel of her message, a beacon of hope and love. This is a call to our entire community, to open our hearts and embrace the grace that God offers us." Father Andrew's words resonated deeply with Lucas and his family. The priest's validation of the encounter lent it a sense of authority, a divine endorsement that could not be easily dismissed. With gentle wisdom, Father Andrew urged the community to embrace the message of hope and love that the Virgin Mary had imparted through Lucas. As news of the encounter continued to spread, the community's reactions varied widely. Some were quick to believe, their hearts yearning for the spiritual renewal that Lucas's story promised. Others remained skeptical, tied to the tangible realities of life, hesitant to embrace what they could not see. Yet, amidst the doubt and curiosity, a quiet transformation began to unfold. Conversations shifted, becoming more centered on love, service, and the possibility of miracles. Neighbors reached out to one another with kindness, inspired by the message that had touched Lucas's heart. Lucas, guided by the Virgin Mary's gentle hand, began to embody the very message he had been entrusted with. He volunteered at the local soup kitchen, offering a listening ear and a helping hand to those in need. His presence was a reminder of the divine love that transcended human understanding. Maria and Joseph watched their son with pride, their hearts full of gratitude for the divine grace that had touched their family. They, too, embraced the call to serve, finding new ways to share their blessings with others. The ripple effects of Lucas's encounter began to permeate the community, weaving a tapestry of faith and compassion that bound them together. It was as if the Virgin Mary's light had ignited a flame within each soul, a beacon of hope that could not be dimmed. As Lucas continued on his journey of faith, he found strength in the knowledge that he was not alone. The divine presence that had met him on the hills remained with him, guiding his steps with a gentle hand. And so, miraculous, the path ahead would surely hold challenges and revelations yet unseen. But Lucas faced them with a heart full of faith and a spirit strengthened by the divine encounter that had set him on this path. With each step, he carried the light of the Virgin Mary's promise, a beacon of hope and love for all who crossed his path. The story would continue, deepening its exploration of faith, redemption, and the transformative power of divine grace. Luke understood now more than ever that the true miracle was not just the encounter itself, but the love it inspired within and beyond him. And as the sun set on this chapter, casting a gentle glow over the Martinez home, it illuminated the path of faith they would all continue to walk, hand in hand with the divine. As dawn broke over the small town, the garden behind the Martinez home was already bathed in a golden hue, the dew-kissed petals shimmering as if touched by the divine itself. News of Lucas's miraculous encounter had spread like wildfire, drawing visitors from all corners of the region. With each new face came a heart seeking solace, prayer, and perhaps a touch of the divine grace that Lucas had experienced. The garden, now a sacred space, became a canvas for stories of healing and hope. People from all walks of life arrived, some with the weight of the world on their shoulders, others with an unquenchable thirst for faith. Among them was Anna, a young mother whose eyes carried the shadows of past struggles. She walked cautiously, her daughter clutching a worn rosary. The moment they stepped into the garden, Anna felt an inexplicable peace wash over her, as if the Virgin herself was embracing her weary soul. Lucas, watching from a distance, felt a profound connection to each visitor. Their stories, their hopes, and their silent prayers resonated deeply with him, reinforcing the miracle he had witnessed. It was not just his encounter with the Virgin Mary that had transformed him. It was the realization that this divine love was meant to be shared, to inspire, and to heal. Father Andrew, the parish priest, saw the garden's potential as a beacon of faith for the entire community. Recognizing the spiritual resurgence it had sparked, he organized weekly prayer gatherings, inviting everyone to come and open their hearts to the wonders of faith. "Let us gather in the light of divine love," he would say, his voice carrying a warmth that invited trust and introspection. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft, ethereal glow over the gathering, Father Andrew began one such session. "We are here," he said, "to witness the power of faith, to acknowledge the miracles that walk among us." Lucas's story is not just his own. It is a testament to the enduring love and grace that God offers each of us. The group listened intently, their hearts open to the message. Lucas, standing beside Father Andrew, felt a deep sense of humility. "I was just a boy, searching for answers," he shared, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. "But what I found was more than I could have ever imagined. It was a love so profound, it reshaped my very being." As Lucas spoke, the air seemed to thicken with an unspoken understanding. The community, once fragmented by doubt and disillusionment, felt a renewed sense of unity and purpose. They were bound together by a shared belief in the miraculous, and by the hope that Lucas's story had rekindled. In the days that followed, the garden continued to draw pilgrims. Each visit added to the tapestry of faith being woven in this sacred space. Stories of healing and transformation began to surface. An elderly man who found peace after years of inner turmoil, a young couple who rediscovered their love for each other, a teenager who, inspired by Lucas, began to explore her own spiritual journey. Lucas, too, found his faith deepening. The more he witnessed the garden's impact, the more he understood the true nature of miracles. It was not just the divine encounter that had changed him, but the ripple effect it had on those around him. Each shared story, each whispered prayer, was a testament to the transformative power of divine grace. One afternoon, as Lucas tended to the garden, he was approached by a woman named Teresa. Her eyes, though weary, held a flicker of hope. "I heard about what happened here," she said softly. "I came to see if maybe there was something here for me too." Lucas paused, sensing the weight of her words. "This garden," he replied gently, "is a place of healing and hope. Whatever you're seeking, know that you are not alone." Teresa nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, touching the petals of a nearby rose as if seeking a connection to the divine. As the community continued to gather, Father Andrew's sermons began to reflect the growing spirituality among his parishioners. "Faith," he preached, "is not a solitary journey. It is a pilgrimage we undertake together, strengthened by the stories we share and the love we give." The church, once filled with empty pews, now resonated with the voices of those returning to the fold. They came not out of obligation, but out of a genuine longing to be part of something greater, something sacred. As the garden's reputation grew, so did the sense of responsibility within Lucas. He understood now more than ever that his encounter had been a gift, not just for him, but for the entire community. It was a reminder of the divine love that existed within each person, waiting to be awakened. And so, as the garden bloomed under the watchful gaze of the Virgin Mary, Lucas and his community continued their pilgrimage of faith. With each step, they carried the light of hope and love, a beacon for all who sought the embrace of the divine. The story of Lucas and the garden was far from over. It was a tale of redemption, of faith renewed, and of the miracles that unfolded when hearts opened to the divine. As they journeyed together, hand in hand with the divine, they knew that the true miracle was not just the encounter itself, but the love it inspired within and beyond them. And as they looked toward the future, they did so with a spirit strengthened by grace, ready to face whatever challenges and revelations lay ahead. As the sun cast its gentle glow upon the garden, the air was filled with a sense of peace that seemed almost tangible. The vibrant colors of the flowers whispered of the divine presence that had touched this sacred ground. For Lucas, the garden had become more than a place of beauty. It was a testament to the faith that had been rekindled within his heart and the hearts of those around him. Lucas stood at the garden's edge, his gaze fixed on the statue of the Virgin Mary that watched over them all. Her serene expression seemed to convey a quiet encouragement, a reminder that they were not alone in their journey. He felt a hand on his shoulder and turned to see his father, Joseph, standing beside him. Joseph's eyes, usually filled with the burdens of everyday life, now held a lightness that mirrored the joy of the garden. "Lucas," Joseph began, his voice a mixture of awe and pride, "this garden, it's become a place of renewal for so many. Your faith has inspired us all." Lucas smiled, humility tempered with gratitude. "It's not just me, Dad. It's all of us. The garden is a gift from God, a reminder of his love and presence." Nearby, Maria, Lucas's mother, was tending to a patch of vibrant roses. She looked up, her hands still stained by the earth, a testament to her tireless dedication. "Every day, I see people come here, some with heavy hearts, others seeking solace. They leave with a sense of peace. It's as if the garden listens, and somehow, they find what they need." Lucas nodded, recalling the many stories he had heard from those who visited. There was the elderly woman who came each morning to pray for her ailing husband, the young couple seeking guidance for their future, and the children who played among the flowers, their laughter a joyful hymn. Each had found something in the gardenous sliver of hope, a whispered prayer, a moment of clarity. The community had embraced the garden as a sacred space, a sanctuary where faith could be nurtured and doubts laid to rest. It was a testament to the power of divine intervention, a living symbol of the Catholic belief in miracles and the strength found in prayer. As Lucas walked among the flowers, he encountered Father Michael, the parish priest who had been a guiding force in his spiritual journey. The priest's gentle demeanor and wise counsel had been a constant source of comfort for Lucas. "Father Michael," Lucas greeted him warmly. "It's good to see you here." The priest smiled, his eyes crinkling with warmth. "Lucas, your story has touched many in our parish. You've become a beacon of hope, a reminder that faith can move mountains." Lucas felt a flush of embarrassment at the praise. "I'm just trying to share what I've experienced, Father. It's the garden that does the real work." Father Michael shook his head, his expression kind but firm. "No, Lucas. It's your faith, your willingness to trust in God's plan, that has made this possible. The garden is a reflection of that faith." As they spoke, a group of children approached, their faces alight with curiosity. One of them, a little girl with bright eyes, tugged at Lucas's sleeve. Mr. Lucas, can you tell us the story again? About the miracle? Lucas knelt down to meet her gaze, his heart swelling with love for these children who were the future of their community. Of course, I'd be happy to. He led them to a stone bench beneath a sprawling oak tree, where the sun filtered through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the ground. The children gathered around, their eager faces reminding Lucas of the wonder he had felt during his own encounter with the divine. Once upon a time, Lucas began, his voice gentle and filled with reverence. There was a young man who felt lost and alone, but then, in a moment of grace, he found himself in a garden much like this one. As Lucas narrated his story, the children listened intently, their eyes wide with awe. He spoke of the light he had seen, the warmth that had enveloped him, and the voice that had whispered of love and hope. It was a story not just of personal transformation, but of the boundless love that God offered to all his children. When he finished, the children sat in silence, absorbing the tale. Finally, the little girl who had first approached him spoke up. "Do you think God talks to everyone, Mr. Lucas?" Lucas nodded, his answer sincere and filled with conviction. "Yes, I believe he does. Sometimes in whispers, sometimes in the beauty around us. We just have to be open to listening." The children seemed satisfied with this answer, their hearts lightened by the possibility of divine communication. They scampered off to play among the flowers, their laughter echoing through the garden. As Lucas watched them, he felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that the seeds of faith had been planted in these young hearts. He rose to his feet, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. His journey, though deeply personal, had become a shared experience, a testament to the power of community and the enduring strength of faith. As the day drew to a close, Lucas, Maria, and Joseph gathered with others from the community for evening prayer. They formed a circle, hands joined, their voices rising in a harmonious chorus that filled the garden with sacred song. In that moment, Lucas understood the true miracle of his journey. It was not just the divine encounter he had experienced, but the love and faith it had inspired within and beyond him. As they prayed together, he felt the presence of the divine moving among them, a gentle reminder that they were all part of a greater story. The garden, with its vibrant blooms and serene aura, stood as a testament to the enduring power of faith. It was a place where hearts were healed, where doubts were quelled, and where the divine could be felt in every whisper of the wind. As they concluded their prayer, Lucas looked around at the faces of his family and friends, each one a reflection of God's love. In their eyes, he saw the strength of a community united by faith, a community ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, buoyed by the grace that had been poured out upon them. The story of Lucas and the garden was far from over. It was a tale of redemption, of faith renewed, and of the miracles that unfolded when hearts opened to the divine. And as they looked toward the future, they did so with a spirit strengthened by grace, ready to embrace the journey that lay before them. Years have woven themselves into the tapestry of time since that fateful day when Lucas first felt the gentle embrace of the divine in the garden, where the Virgin Mary had appeared to him. The memory of that encounter remains luminous in his heart, a beacon that guides his every step. Now a young man, Lucas has grown into the embodiment of the compassion and devotion that had once seemed so distant to his troubled youth. The garden, lovingly tended and cherished, continues to be a sanctuary for those seeking solace, a testament to the enduring miracle that had unfolded there. In the bustling heart of Denver, amidst the cacophony of modern life, Lucas's story has become an anchor for many. Time and again, he finds himself sharing the tale of his miraculous encounter, each retelling a gentle reminder that miracles are not confined to ancient texts but are living, breathing moments of grace available to all who open their hearts to them. One crisp autumn afternoon, Lucas stands before a group gathered in the garden, the golden leaves whispering secrets of the divine as they dance in the breeze. His voice, steady and warm, carries the weight of his experience and the light of his faith. Miracles, he begins, his eyes meeting those of his audience, are not relics of the past. They are invitations to see the world with eyes of faith, to believe that love and grace can transform us. The crowd, a mix of the young and old, listens intently. Among them is Clara, a young woman who has recently moved to Denver seeking a fresh start. Her life, marked by losses and uncertainty, has led her to this place in search of hope. As Lucas speaks, she feels a stirring within her, a glimmer of the peace she has long sought. "Lucas?" Clara asks, her voice tinged with both curiosity and yearning. "How do you remain open to these miracles, especially when life seems so overwhelming?" Lucas smiles gently, recognizing in her question the echoes of his own past struggles. "It's not always easy," he admits, "but remembering that moment in the garden, feeling the presence of the Virgin Mary so profoundly, reminds me that I'm never alone. I find strength in prayer and in the love of this community. We are here for one another, to lift each other up when the world weighs us down." His words resonate with Clara, and she feels the warmth of the community envelop her. It is a feeling she hasn't known in a long time, and it sparks a flicker of hope within her heart. As the gathering concludes, Lucas remains in the garden, his thoughts drifting to the many lives that have been touched by the story of his encounter. He reflects on the countless people who have found their way to this sacred space, each with their own burdens and dreams, leaving a part of their hearts intertwined with the legacy of faith that began with a simple act of grace. In the weeks that follow, Lucas becomes a fixture in the community, his presence a constant reminder of the divine love that surrounds them all. He volunteers at the local parish, organizes youth retreats, and offers a listening ear to anyone in need. His life is a testament to the transformative power of faith, and his actions speak louder than any words he could ever utter. One evening, as the sun sets over the city, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, Lucas finds himself walking through the garden, the very place where his journey had begun. The air is crisp, and the familiar scent of blooming flowers fills his senses. He pauses by the statue of the Virgin Mary, his heart swelling with gratitude for the path that has unfolded before him. "Thank you," he whispers, his voice barely audible over the gentle rustle of the leaves, "for guiding me, for renewing my faith, and for the gift of this community." As if in response, a soft breeze caresses his face, and he feels a profound sense of peace settle within him. It is a moment of grace, a reminder that the love of the divine is ever present, waiting to touch our lives when we are open to it. Lucas's story, and the garden that bears witness to it, continues to inspire those who hear it, a beacon of hope in a world often clouded by doubt. His encounters and experiences serve as a reminder that faith is not a relic of the past but a living, breathing force that can heal, transform, and unite us. In the heart of Denver, amidst the chaos of modern life, Lucas's legacy of faith stands as a testament to the enduring power of divine love. As he looks toward the future, he does so with a spirit strengthened by grace, ready to embrace whatever journey lies ahead, knowing that he is never truly alone. This chapter, woven with the threads of faith, redemption, and love, seamlessly transitions to the next, inviting others to join the journey, to open their hearts, and to find the miracles waiting for them in the quiet moments of grace. As this story draws to a close, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What would you have done in Sarah's place? Share your reflections in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from and what time it is right now where you are. Subscribe for more stories of faith, compassion, and unexpected moments that bring communities together.